Hi, I'm John, and this is Small Jobs. No miniature is going to be complete without a finished base, and there are materials that are available to make that base pop and not just be another flat piece of plastic. Let's go through a few of them here. First and foremost, easiest thing, sand. You can get your basic playground sand, or in this case I found some white sand. It's a very fine grain, very, very simple, but on a miniature it's going to look textured, and that's kind of what you're looking for. I know it sounds strange, but clay kitty litter. And it's important to note this is not the clumping kind. We're talking the rough chunk clay kitty litter. At this size and scale, they're going to look like nice, good rocks on the base of your miniature. Now let's go through the offerings provided by the model railroading community. Here's what we call ballast. This is what they use for between railroad tracks on miniature railroads. Stuff is a little heavier grain than sand. It gives you a different kind of texture. Same company makes something called fine rock debris. Another scale up in texture. May look like small rocks on the base. Another different texture option there. And then on the other end of the scale, we've got the coarse rock debris. These actually look like pea gravel. So you got to be judicious when using this, because one or two of these are going to look like boulders on your miniatures. And when we get to the pre-basing miniatures section, or the pre-basing section, we'll talk about how to apply these. It's important to note that these go on prior to priming, and the reason we do that is if you want to get some paint on them, you want to make sure they're primed, they're sealed in. We'll go through a different set of basing materials for after you finish painting your miniature. Let me touch on some other possible basing options. If you go to your local home improvement store, you can pick up some cork tiles and break them up into rock-sized, well, miniature rock-sized pieces. They've got an interesting texture to them, and because they are cork, they're easy to cut with your hobby knife. I'll give you some different options as to what you can do with those. Also, I've played with using various pieces of landscaping bark. You can find these outside. And what's kind of nice is these can actually make bases in their entirety. So if you cut it nicely, have your miniature standing on top of it, and right there, that's an automatic base. Just be careful to make sure that your miniature is properly mounted in that. And found objects. Oftentimes you'll stumble across an interesting bit of wire, an old piece of a model, some broken something you saw on the street. I actually found on the internet some watch parts. These things look fantastic because they're so tiny here, but they're going to look big on your miniature. Cool stuff. If you have any further questions, be sure to check out the forums at playthegamepodcast.com.